Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. And Mr. Speaker, I just want to join colleagues to reiterate the fact that this motion, we would have wanted to listen to the substantive part of the impeachment motion, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, the County Assembly has not been able to sufficiently demonstrate to this House that there was a sitting. And, Mr. Speaker, even when they were given a chance, the lawyers of the County Assembly were given a chance to give evidence in terms of video clips, Mr. Speaker, they didn't take that opportunity to give us the sittings at the Assembly, Mr. Speaker. What they did is to show some place like an office, which definitely had been ramshackled in a way, Mr. Speaker, which did not show it's a chamber, Mr. Speaker. There were no members, Mr. Speaker. So there was no way for this House to be able to tell that there were sittings or not, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have heard a lot about Isiolo County, and we were eager, Mr. Speaker, to go through the rigors of this impeachment proposal, Mr. Speaker. But as it is, Mr. Speaker, this is a House of rules and procedures, and the procedures and processes have not been followed. We have no choice, Mr. Speaker, but to send back the County Assembly to follow the law, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we will not have wanted to bring our biases into this case, because if it were, then maybe we would have gone the direction Senator Hezena is saying, because the women governors, senators in this House, Mr. Speaker, had a lot of bone to pick with the governor. But the way it has come, Mr. Speaker, it has failed the test, at least the initial tests, Mr. Speaker, for us to be able to proceed to full hearing. So, Mr. Speaker, to cut the whole story short, Mr. Speaker, it's not been proven that there was a sitting, and there is no way we can proceed if there was no sitting, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Joseph Githuku, come on.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity also to add my voice of the governor. Honorable Speaker, I had an opportunity of listening to the Council of the County Assembly of Isiolo. And Honorable Speaker, I can confirm that the councils were really struggling to convince this House that indeed the County Assembly of Isiolo sat to deliberate on the issues of the impeachment of the governor. Honorable Speaker, Article 96, Sub-Article 1 of the Constitution, Honorable Speaker, provides that this Senate is mandated by the Constitution to take care of the counties and its government. Honorable Speaker, I would urge that this House, Honorable Speaker, when we retreat to make a proper deliberation on whether this motion should continue or not, Honorable Speaker, I would urge this House to do the right thing and set a good precedent, so that, Honorable Speaker, we may not be judged wrongly, Honorable Speaker, by generations to come. Honorable Speaker, with that, I support this motion, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Tabitha Keroche.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity also to contribute to this motion, this important motion. I think as I'm also thinking on what to say on this motion, I feel also the pain of Senator Joyce Correa, because I think we need to amend Article 181 of our Constitution, because if you look at what you've been doing here since morning, just to deliberate on something that we know that it didn't follow the right procedure, I think we need to have the Senate legal department, when we amend that constitution, to ensure before any document on impeachment is brought to this house of ours, it's really checked whether it has made the ground and it has followed the right procedure. And I think the MCAs of Isiolo have denied us a very important impeachment motion. We would have wanted really to know, because them coming to tell us that there are two speakers and two clerks, I think I would really have wanted to know how they passed to the county assembly, and as far as I know, they are the people who are supposed to approve the team that is always brought to the house, to the assembly by the governor. So I really advise you to really look at that, because at the end of it, I think you're the ones people who will be going home, not the governor, if you brought that motion. Because everybody will be asking, how did they come to be picked and put that we have two speakers? Because to me, I think the National Assembly are the one, the county assembly are the ones who approve any team that is brought by the governor on the floor of the assembly. So I think what people are complaining about the county assemblies, we should be very, very careful, because the minute you brought a motion here and the Isiolo people that elected you are watching, they'll be wondering such questions that we're asking ourselves. How did we bring this motion? Did they not follow the right procedure? And then the accusations that are there, they are the people who are supposed to do the oversight and ensure that such things the governor doesn't do. How do you approve and allow the governor to put in two speakers and two clerks?
Senator Maruma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, where there is smoke, there is fire. Simply by the virtue of the fact that the Assembly has escalated a resolution to impeach the governor, then it's a pointer to a problem in the general running of the government of Isiolo. There's a lot of harm, career-wise, of a governor or any public officer who is impeached, and that is why we should scrutinize carefully the process and the product of the impeachment. It would have been our wish, Mr. Speaker, to scrutinize the allegations and the evidence that are pointed towards the governor. But, Mr. Speaker, we must start with the preliminaries. Mr. Speaker, impeachment takes place in the county assembly. What happens in the Senate is a trial. Now, we must ask ourselves, if impeachment takes place in the assembly, then it must take place in the correct manner. The procedure must be followed. Looking at the evidence that has been adduced by the assembly to show that there was impeachment, Mr. Speaker, I'm not convinced that a sitting took place. Mr. Speaker, because the Hansard report that has been given by the assembly has not been certified. What was the challenge in certifying the Hansard? Mr. Speaker, we've seen some semblance of violence that took place that then showed that there was destruction of the video evidence, and that the transcription was not done of the Hansard, was not done through the video evidence, but from the evidence of the audio, and that the audio is available but has not been brought here, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if there's a challenge of sitting in the assembly of Isiolo, they can also ask for another venue, but the procedure is very clear that it must be gazetted, and that there must be a resolution to sit in a different venue other than the gazetted assembly. We have not been shown any gazette notice to show or to convince us that a different venue was gazetted for the Assembly to sit. Mr. Speaker, I would urge the Assembly to go back and do a proper procedural impeachment. We are not running anywhere as senators or as Senate. Let them bring another impeachment motion if they want. But I'm also urging that there's another process through the Committee of Devolution. Suo moto, they can go to Isiolo and look and diagnose the problems in Isiolo with a view to making sure that devolution works.
Senator Esi Okenyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to actually place emphasis on the significance of procedure in the impeachment process, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the essence of following procedure is to ensure that we are protecting the integrity of the whole process, Mr. Speaker. So in a situation where this has not been followed, Mr. Speaker, we do not want to have the impeachment process as a weak tool to restrain people who want to misuse their public offices, Mr. Speaker. So while I feel for the people of Isiolo, for the County Assembly, I wish that whatever case they brought here earlier, I actually sought clarity on whether the Hansard recordings can actually be displayed if they actually conducted their sittings in a room or their sittings were done outside. There was no evidence for the same, which makes me feel then the right procedure was not followed, Mr. Speaker. We want to make this process so credible that any other governor who's brought to this Senate as a house of reason is able to go home knowing substantive justice was actually rendered to them. Substantive justice cannot be talked about where due process has not been followed, and where due process has not been followed, even wanting to go into the evidences will not help in this case, Mr. Speaker, because from the beginning, the whole process has not been followed, so that we abide by the rule of law, Mr. Speaker. So I wish that we actually put emotions aside and look at this issue critically, Mr. Speaker, because all over the world, impeachments that have happened have actually followed the rule of law. It's not about dislike for someone, and even when you dislike someone, you have to ensure that you followed the correct process for you to remove them from office. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mariam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I stand here to idle my voice that I oppose the motion, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, when 16 MCAs come together for a motion of impeachment, Mr. Speaker, there must be a procedure which is supposed to be followed. Mr. Speaker, there is volume 3, which has order paper, Hansard, everything, Mr. Speaker. If at all, if there is no procedures, this whole document cannot be available to the Senate, Mr. Speaker. So on this ground, Mr. Speaker, I oppose and I say there is a meeting, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Professor Margaret Kumar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I sit in the Committee of Devolution, and I was involved in the case of Nyamira. We were also involved in the case of Machakos, where we had, Machakos actually did have different speakers. Machakos, a speaker, just decided to close the assembly, Sindai, without involving anybody. And you look at these cases and you ask yourself, what kind of advice can we give as a committee. In the case of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, we reached a point that we even invited the comptroller of budget, because the comptroller of budget was paying one line in the assembly and leaving out the other line. And we asked the comptroller of budget, who unfortunately or fortunately happens to have come from Nyamira, and we said, so who are you paying? Because they had two speakers, they had two clerks. Why am I saying this, Mr. Speaker? I'm saying this because we need a Senate to advise and to help our counties properly. Our county assemblies need to be protected. First, one of the two features that came out in both counties that we handled was the violence that took place. The violence that took place in Machakos was exactly the same violence that took place in Nyamira, and the same violence that we are being told, although we did not see the actual violence, we saw the aftermath. We need to be very clear that when MCS are handling a very serious agenda like impeachment, which is very serious because it borders on who is right between the executive and the assembly, it is the protection of the MCS is of paramount. Even in this case, Mr. Speaker, if the House finds that the procedure was not done properly and that they go back, we need to be assured that even if they go back, they will have protection as a House. Because what we saw in Nyamira was a case where, gosh,
I thought the professor had 6 more seconds. Oh, Professor, you got emotional and you couldn't speak?
No, I saw the red light and I was shocked that I had finished 3 minutes because, Mr. Speaker, unless we come out as a Senate to actually define the norms, and even if we have to go to our own standing orders, we need to deal with that because the protection of a House that is dealing with impeachment must be assured. If they are not assured, then they have nowhere. They will be hiding from each other, and we will not be able to.
Now, lastly, the senator for Isiolo County. As is a tradition, the host senator normally gets more time, and therefore, Honorable Senator, I'll give you 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity and again agreeing to give me more minutes. Mr. Speaker, I have been sitting in this House for the last 13 years. What I've seen today has never happened in the history of this year. Now, the matters of procedure, this is not a court of law, Mr. Speaker. Killing a motion at the PO level is disastrous because people stand here and say, oh, we didn't see this, or the assembly didn't see it, or what. I wish the people who are negatively talking about the assembly, they should have known what they have gone through. Some of them, they have almost lost their lives in the circumstance. Mr. Speaker, there are people who are saying the sitting didn't take place here. The circumstance under which the assembly sat was actually very difficult because they were almost losing their lives. Mr. Speaker, before this motion, this House was crying for the blood of Governor for Isiolo.
before this motion. We know each other, and I know what transpired even 30 minutes ago. And I think it's good the public know what happened and Isiolo people know what happened. Mr. Speaker, Sokohuru is taking over this house. And I must say this. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker,
you cannot impute improper motive on your colleagues. If you want to proceed in that manner, you know what to do. Substantive motions.
Mr. Speaker, let me proceed, and I will leave it at that. Isiolo is bleeding today. Isiolo is not safe today. The assembly is not safe after today. I am not safe after today. Isiolo people will not be safe after today. And I can see the people who actually normally fight me in the social media, they are all here watching. Already, tonight, you will see that chaos that will happen in Isiolo County. If only this house should have looked at the proceeding to the end, then you can be able to understand the veracity of this particular impeachment. But as it is today, Mr. Speaker, I don't think Assembly will have guts to bring in a motion to this house. Not only Isiolo, the whole country. Mr. Speaker, even the governors themselves, we stand here always criticizing the counties. We stand here talking about oversight. The oversight is killed today by the same house, Mr. Speaker. If the direction you are going to take is to kill the PO, Mr. Speaker, and I must be on record for this. Mr. Speaker, we have two speakers, apparently, where two members of Assembly have elected a speaker. The so-called clerk forged documents for election of the Assembly members. Government printer, a very sensitive department of this country, the heart of this country, gazetted a speaker who was elected by two members of Assembly. Where are we heading as a country? There was a commander of AP who was brought here to produce an evidence in favor of the governor. Does he sit in the house? What is his role? Security, as far as that proceeding was concerned, was actually compromised. Mr. Speaker, today you report a matter in Isiolo to DCI, to police commander, nobody is taking action. Mr. Speaker, there is a young man who was beaten 2 days ago, fighting for his life in ICU, just simply because he's a blogger. Mr. Speaker, in this impeachment, there are people who have actually been injured and maimed. Somebody is standing here and saying, go and bring another motion. Mr. Speaker, let me say here that the Senate, if they are going to take the direction of killing the PO, you have thrown Isiolo to the dogs, you have thrown the Assembly to the dogs, and if anything happens tomorrow, this house will be blamed. And I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, I do not have any name on my dashboard of any senator indicating to speak or contribute to this motion, and therefore I will call upon the mover to reply. Senator for Isiolo, what is your intervention? Certainly it cannot be a point of order.
Mr. Speaker, I will say on the floor of this House, I need protection. The Assembly requires protection from the security agencies. I thank you.
You may proceed to reply.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate colleagues who have taken time to speak to this motion and the things that they have said, some of which I agree with, and as is the case with democracy, quite a number that I don't agree with, Mr. Speaker. And I have said it, including the point of order that I raised, that many of the things that members are alleging do not exist, actually do exist in the bundle and the volume of documents. I could excuse them, Mr. Speaker, perhaps because we didn't get to the substance of the matter before us, that perhaps many of them did not take time to read. But those things you're asking about, members, to ascertain in your minds whether the assembly sat, they are before your eyes, barely 10, 20, 30 centimeters from where you're seated, Mr. Speaker. Be that as it may, Mr. Speaker, I appreciate that there has been a protracted debate before us since morning with both councils for the assembly and those of the governor, trading accusations against the other on whether a sitting actually happened. You know, members, we live in Kenya. Don't be like these elitists in Nairobi who talk about Kenya from a perspective of an urban center. Mr. Speaker, how many times do we go to far-flung counties, including the very last one we went to in Turkana? Do you know part of the things the county assembly asked us to donate to them? Even Hansard recordings alone. We did that in Turkana when we last went to Turkana. So we must also appreciate that our county assemblies need our support a big time, both in terms of technical support and even materially. Some of these counties, Mr. Speaker, are so small that if you were to judge them with the standard of a county like Nairobi or here in the Senate, we will be aloof, Mr. Speaker. If you expect that they have CCTVs, they have cameras, Mr. Speaker, you are asking too much of a county that in 2016, I was part and parcel of the budget committee, Mr. Speaker, that looked at the state of county like Isiolo and Nyandarua, Mr. Speaker, and accepted that despite the fact that we have 47 counties, there are 5 counties that there was no way, without being granted a conditional grant, was going to have a county headquarters. In fact, in this year's DORA, Mr. Speaker, is when we've given them the last contribution. That is why, and the council for, I think, the assembly, did not do a good job at expounding to you members to understand that actually the governor and the county assembly share an office. That is how bad that situation is in that particular county. As we speak today, what you saw in that video is what these people are returning back to. Should this PO be upheld, Mr. Speaker? A place that has completely been broken. There is no order. There are 2 clerks. There are 2 speakers. Mr. Speaker, I want to believe that we can find a way of resolving this particular conflict. I listen to those who say that procedure is as important as a product. But also the product, Mr. Speaker, must be informed by the process. If at the time of voting, there were guns that were blazing outside and stones being thrown into the assembly, Mr. Speaker, as the assembly is saying, how good a record can you keep? There must be an issue beyond procedure that we need to look at, Mr. Speaker. I listen to colleagues here who have said that take some of these matters that are beyond just the governor and the county assembly to the committee on devolution. But what is the record, Mr. Speaker, on us as a House resolving that matters? As we speak today, I think I saw a flash news yesterday that Nyamira has again, I think, erupted the county assembly. You remember the matter that we had here before us? I think 8 or 10 MCAs were expelled yesterday, meaning we have never been able to resolve these issues. Our colleagues that serve in devolution committee, I want them to request of them, Mr. Speaker, that they treat these matters with the urgency that they deserve. I have served in devolution committee before, Mr. Speaker. This is one of the premier committees of this House. A committee that on their own volition, anytime you notice a matter of this magnitude in a county, even before an impeachment motion is brought, Mr. Speaker, we used to visit. So Senator Abbas and the team that serves with you in devolution committee, I want to request, the same way that you have committed and have said that there are many, many issues that you think needs to be resolved. For example, Senator Fatuma, our colleague, has raised a very important question. When you tell the assembly to go back and follow the right procedure, under which speaker now? First of all, where will they meet? Mr. Speaker, there are very serious issues. I want to request Senator Abbas. I have known Senator Boli Halwale to be a very decent man, Mr. Speaker. I don't know what has happened to him today. How can he heckle his leader while he's speaking? I would have said something else that Senator Moses Wetangula once said, but I don't want to say it. Mr. Speaker, no. I refuse the incitement of the man from Nyandarua. You know, these are political issues and people change their persuasions. You know, Mr. Speaker, I for example, had my good friend, the senator for Muranga, say that once you make a vote, there should be a process through which you can unmake it. And people change their minds. That is allowed. I know, for example, that there is no senator that pushed me and kept on telling me that you need to bring the impeachment motion against the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua more than Senator Nyutu. But at the time the motion came to the floor, he had changed his mind. So these things happen, Mr. Speaker. So there is no problem. People change their minds.
Majority Leader, take your seat. Majority Leader.
Yes, sir.
There is a point of order directed at you.
Mr. Speaker, the Majority Leader is a respectable person, having been elected to this House for 3 times. For him to say that I pushed him to move the motion of impeachment against the second Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, Mr. Speaker, there cannot be a worse liar than the Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, I have always made my stand known. This is my right of reply. This is my right of reply.
Order, honorable senators. Now, Senator Nyutu. Senator Nyutu, I gave you the opportunity to raise your point of order. First, you need to state under what standing order you are raising your point of order.
105, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, every senator here, as per that particular standing order, Mr. Speaker, 105, Mr. Speaker, it provides that a senator shall be responsible for the accuracy of any fact that the senator alleges to be true and may be required to substantiate any such facts instantly. Mr. Speaker, following that particular standing order, then, Mr. Speaker, the Majority Leader should go ahead and substantiate and provide evidence that I pushed him. And Mr. Speaker, I cannot push the Majority Leader to push any motion. I am only a first-term senator. These are senators. And if I was going to be that powerful, Mr. Speaker, that I can push the Majority Leader to move a particular motion, Mr. Speaker, then, in fact now, if I had that power, I would be pushing him to initiate a motion to impeach the president, Mr. Speaker. That is what I would push him really hard to do. But of course, I know he cannot do that. So, Mr. Speaker, let the majority leader withdraw and apologize to me and to this house for soiling my name. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And the people of Muranga who brought me to this particular house and who respect me.
Honorable Senators, order. Now, Majority Leader, you have made a certain allegation to the extent or to the effect that the Senator for Muranga, Senator Nyutu, pushed you into filing a motion of impeachment against the Deputy President, an assertion that has been disputed vehemently by the Senator for Muranga. Could you please proceed to substantiate that allegation? And if you're unable,
Mr. Speaker,
to withdraw.
Mr. Speaker, okay. Mr. Speaker, how can you allege something against yourself? Because I said that he pushed me on so many occasions saying, bring this damn motion. Mr. Speaker, for example, you know, Mr. Speaker, can I be protected?
Order, honorable senators, order. Allow the majority leader to substantiate.
Yes. On the day the former deputy president went to Meru and said there is a senator who is quote unquote talking mad, or in Swahili anaongea matope, in referring to the senator for Muranga, Senator Nyutu came fuming into the house and told me, have you heard what that man has said? Can you bring the motion to impeach me? And on so many other occasions, he talked to me, Mr. Speaker. So if he talked to me, Mr. Speaker, who do I need to convince? Yet I'm talking about myself, the things he told me.
Now, honorable senators, we have some serious matters to handle. Order, honorable senators. Order. Order, honorable senators. Order, order. Now, order, honorable senators. A conversation that took place between two people, it is a word of the majority leader against the word of the senator for Muranga. And certainly, honorable senators, it is up to you to judge. The majority leader has clearly indicated that this was a conversation between me and the senator for Muranga. So, honorable senators, let that matter lie. Conclude your moving of the motion. Proceed to conclude your moving of the motion.
So thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, like I have said, Mr. Speaker, people will have the opportunity to determine this matter whichever way they want. But there are very serious issues that the people of Isiolo are inviting us to arbitrate amongst them. Mr. Speaker, it will be unfortunate if this afternoon, Mr. Speaker, or this evening, we were to sit down and tell the people of Isiolo that for all the things that you are alleging and that you have brought before us, Mr. Speaker, because we are not satisfied whether you sat or you didn't sit, Mr. Speaker, those matters don't matter to us anymore. I want to plead with you, dear colleagues, that see the pain of Senator Fatuma Dulo. There are certain things she said which personally maybe I am not privy to, and I would have wished that she never said so. But see beyond the words. See the pain of the people of Isiolo through Senator Fatuma Dulo. Mr. Speaker, I don't intend to take long because I believe I have been in this house long enough to know when you have said enough. I can see from the body posture of Professor Ujenda, Mr. Speaker, that he's telling me, can you conclude, Mr. Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, reading the mood of the House, there are many things I would have wished to say, Mr. Speaker. But given that you have reached a point where sometimes as a man, even if you are wooing a woman, Mr. Speaker, you have said everything that you need to say, then you surrender to the fate of humanity and say, you have heard what I have said. Mr. Speaker, I want to believe, even if it is fair, I have said to these people, Mr. Speaker, if they choose to eat the fare, Mr. Speaker, I cannot be blamed anymore, Mr. Speaker. I have said everything that I need to say. Therefore, with those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply, Mr. Speaker, and I hope that in all that we do, we will find a solution for the people of Isiolo. Thank you, and God bless the Senate.
Now, honorable senators, I will direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to ring the division bell for 5 minutes.
The division bell is on for 5 minutes as directed by the Speaker this evening, upon which at the lapse of the 5 minutes, the House will proceed to vote on the first motion, the motion in question being the preliminary issue on whether the County Assembly of Isiolo held sittings on the 18th day of June and the 26th day of June 2025 on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Governor for Isiolo, Honorable Abdi Ibrahim Hassan, this being a motion by the leader of the majority party, has taken about 3 hours, according to the standing orders of the House, on the time upon which a motion is to be dispensed with. The time allocated for debate is usually 3 hours. The debate on this motion began at about a few minutes past 5. The 3 hours allocation has come to an end, and upon that climax of debate, the House moves to vote on this motion. During the debate on this motion, senators have raised concerns on a number of issues, with the matter in question being the holding of the County Assembly sitting on the 18th and subsequently on the 26th day of June 2025. A section say
that there is indeed evidence before the Senate that the County Assembly indeed did hold the sitting. There has been divergent opinion as well, with some senators indicating that the members of the County Assembly, through their legal team, had a difficult time approving to the Senate when the objections were raised, whether indeed that sitting took place. The debate on the motion has concluded with the area senator being the last senator to make a contribution to this motion. And the senator for Isiolo County has raised a number of issues in regards to how the county of Isiolo is being run by the governor. And upon the conclusion, she has requested for security beef up for herself as well as members of the county assembly. The mover was also called upon to reply, the mover of the motion being the leader of the majority party. And for the better part of today, the mover of the motion has been highlighting gaps in the impeachment procedures, likening this issue to the matter that was yet before the House, the matter pertaining the impeachment of the governor for Kericho County, whose impeachment was quashed based on technicalities. A similar case is before the Senate this evening, as the members of the County Assembly have been faulted of not using the requisite rules and regulations governing the removal of the governor from office.
Order, honorable senators, the 5 minutes rung for the division bell is a long spent. Honorable senators, kindly take your seats. Take your seats. Sergeant at arms, you may now proceed to lock the door and draw the bar. Senator Karen Nyamu. Honorable senators, take your seats. Senator for Garissa, Senator Haji, you don't have a place to sit. Sergeant at arms, kindly show the senator for Garissa a place to sit, please. Now, honorable senators, voting shall be by delegations, as I had already indicated, and that voting shall be electronically. Now, just to echo my own words, we are voting on the motion as to whether there was indeed a sitting on the 18th and 26th of June. If you vote yes, you're basically saying there was no sitting. If you vote yes. If you vote no, you're saying there was a sitting. Now, if the yes carries the day, we're not going to proceed to the second motion. However, if this motion is negative, then we'll move to the second motion. I hope we are clear so that we avoid mistakes going forward. Now that we are ready and it's clear, I will now proceed to put the question. That whereas, pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act, on Thursday, 26 June 2025, the County Assembly of Isiolo approved a motion for removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Abdi Ibrahim Hassan, the Governor of Isiolo County. And further, whereas by a letter reference CA/RES/Volume 1/001, dated 26 June 2025, and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on 27 June 2025, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Isiolo informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of the motion by the County Assembly, and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly, including the list of 16 out of 18 members of the County Assembly that voted in favor of the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Abdi Ibrahim Hassan, the Governor of Isiolo County. Noting that a preliminary issue was raised by the Governor of Isiolo County on whether the County Assembly of Isiolo held sittings on 18th June 2025 and 26th June 2025 to table, debate, pass, and no vote on the motion for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Governor of Isiolo County. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves to uphold the preliminary issue raised on whether the County Assembly of Isiolo held sittings on the 18th of June 2025 and 26th of June 2025 to table, debate, pass, and or vote on the motion for proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Governor of Isiolo County, and accordingly terminates the proceedings for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Abdi Ibrahim Hassan, the Governor of Isiolo County. Now, Honorable Senators, kindly log out. Yes, Senator for Kilifi, you may proceed to your seat. Now, Sergeant at Arms, kindly go round and pick any attended, any unattended. Unattended card. Once that exercise is complete, kindly signal. Thank you. Now, Honorable Senators, kindly log back. Log back into the delegate unit. Once you have done that, kindly proceed to vote, and time starts running from now. Okay. Order, honorable senators. Senator for Garissa, kindly take your seat. Thank you. Now, honorable senators, the result of the vote on the division on this motion is as follows. Ayes, 31 votes. Nays, 12 votes. Abstention, 0 votes. So the ayes have it. Now, honorable senators, as you may recall, in my communication earlier this afternoon, I made it clear that if the preliminary issue contesting whether the County Assembly of Isiolo held sittings on the 18th June 2025 and 26th of June 2025 to table, debate, pass and or vote on the motion for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Governor of Isiolo County was to be upheld, these impeachment proceedings will terminate forthwith, and it would not be necessary to proceed to the motion or vote on the second preliminary issue as listed in the supplementary order paper. This motion having been passed, the impeachment proceedings in the matter of the proposed removal from office of the Governor of Isiolo County have forthwith terminated. The termination of the impeachment proceedings also lead to the lapse, by operation of law, of the 3 days of special sittings terminating on Thursday, the 10th of July 2025, which I had earlier gazetted. Accordingly, the regular sittings of the Senate pursuant to the Senate calendar for the fourth session, approved on the 19th of February 2025, shall resume tomorrow, Wednesday, the 9th of July 2025 at 9 a.m. The relevant order paper will be prepared and circulated in the usual manner. 9:30. The relevant order paper will be prepared and circulated in the usual manner. Now, honorable senators, there is one last matter which is of grave concern. In the course of her contribution, the Senator for Isiolo County, Senator Fatuma Dulo, has expressed serious fears about the security situation in Isiolo County. Senator Dulo has expressed concern particularly that after these impeachment proceedings, neither the County Assembly of Isiolo or herself as the Senator for Isiolo County are safe. The security of all persons is not a matter to be taken lightly. The security of the Senator, similarly, must be assured. I therefore direct that the extract of the Hansard in relation to the concerns expressed by Senator Dulo be obtained by the Office of the Clerk of the Senate and be addressed in a letter to the Inspector General of Police, as well as the County Commissioner of Isiolo County, for the information and necessary action. Now, to the Governor, let me offer you unsolicited advice. This is not a win, and therefore the Senate does not expect you to go out there chest thumping. This is a postponement of your case. It is a postponement of your hearing. Now, depending on how you're going to carry yourself from today going forward, that case may never be heard. Depending on how, similarly, depending on how you're going to behave out there, your case may be back here in a matter of days. It's up to you. From the little that we've gathered through this preliminary objection, clearly there are cracks on the walls of Isiolo County. If I were you, I'll go mend those cracks. I will not bring the walls of Isiolo County, because that is the big fear expressed by the Senator for Isiolo County. We expect, as the leadership, as the top leader in Isiolo County, you need to have a sitting with your senator, even if it's through a third party. As the top leader in Isiolo County, you need to mend your relationship with the county assembly, even if it means through a third party. This is an advice that you may take or you may leave, but the consequences are there. So we do not expect you to go carry out celebrations in Isiolo because of this verdict that has been handed in by the Senate. Having said that, honorable senators, kindly be upstanding. Now, having come to the end of the business of the day, the Senate now stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 9th July 2025 at 9:30 a.m. Thank you.